Alrighty, guys, welcome back. It's your boy EQ, and up next we have Kendrick Lamar and SZA's Grand National Tour, breaking yet another all-time record. And it's only halfway through the tour, and now it's turning into the Grand International Tour with more worldwide dates being announced. Plus, I also wanted to check out the OVOites' reaction to the U.S. leg of the tour because I know the saltiness will be in huge supply. It truly is an amazing show indeed, and just based on how much love Kendrick Lamar gets internationally, it's awesome that fans from around the world get to experience it themselves firsthand. This is hip hop history and will soon be the highest grossing rap tour ever. Kendrick Lamar already broke the record for highest single grossing show ever, and then he broke his own record again like a few days later. And I know the OVOites are going to have a field day with this one, probably saying things like Kendrick needs the extra dates to top Drake's tour, with maybe a short joke to go along with it. How original. But it's still 25% of the shows that Drake did to get to his total so far. Kendrick has been doing around 10 million a show. So honestly, guys, I've never seen people more devoid of facts than the OVO clan themselves. And guys, remember, when Drake went on his It's All a Blur tour, the guy had 21 Savage, J. Cole, and Lil Wayne as co-headliners, and openers like Lil Durk, Lil Baby, Central C, and Sexy Red. So these two tours are very, very completely different beasts. At the end of the day, Kendrick Lamar is doing it with like the barest of backing tracks, and obviously SZA, who's no slouch herself. She is one of the bigger pop stars out there. She's been putting on a top-notch, impeccable show of her own. Some of those set pieces she's pulling off are literally A-list stuff. But like I said earlier, I'm excited for all the fans from around the world that now have the opportunity to check out the show. I see the impact worldwide on this channel every day alone, with so many supporters showing love from the most diverse of countries. I know there's still countries that may not be able to see him just yet, but there's always a chance that the date could be added soon. So enough dilly-dallying, let's jump right into the article in these posts, because I definitely want to see the comments on this. The mental gymnastics are about to be next level, but like I said, we have the Kendrick Lamar and SZA Grand National Tour breaking yet another all-time record, and it's only halfway through the tour. And now that it's turning into the Grand International Tour, this record is about to get demolished, with more worldwide dates now being announced. Plus, like I said, I also want to check out the cult of the OVOites' reaction to the US leg of the tour, because they got to be sick right now. So over here we have the article. Again, the North American leg grossed more than 250 million and it's only halfway done. An amazing performance. Alrighty, guys. On June 18th, Kendrick Lamar and SZA wrapped the North American leg of their co-billed Grand National Tour. The run's 23 shows grossed $256.4 million and sold 1.1 million tickets, according to figures reported to Billboard Box Score. That makes it the highest grossing reported co-headline tour ever. After the first leg of the tour, Lamar and SZA top Billboard's ranking of the 40 biggest co-billed tours in box score history, surpassing Beyonce and Jay-Z's On the Run 2 tour in 2018, which is definitely epic because that tour was such a success. I mean, we're talking about Beyonce here. By less than 3 million or just 1%. In terms of ticket sales, the Carters still reign with 2.2 million tickets sold, though Kendrick Lamar and SZA can make up that difference by the time the tour wraps later this year. The Grand National Tour and the On the Run 2 Tour are the only co-headline tours that have made more than 200 million, while just four more crossed 100 million, including Beyonce and Jay-Z's first On the Run tour in 2014. The co-headline ranking is littered with classic rock and country tours, which makes this so dope because you're dipping into territory that hip hop really hasn't seen. But hip hop easily takes the top two spots and half of the top six, while Beyonce's Renaissance World Tour still looms in the distance amongst the highest grossing tours by an R&B artist, 579.8 million. Man, major league numbers right there. Lamar now has the biggest stadium tour ever amongst rappers. The Grand National Tour kicked off on April 19th in Minneapolis and then hit 18 more cities in the US and Canada. That routing included doubleheaders in New York and Toronto and three shows in LA. And I was one of the lucky many that were able to go to the LA show. And for me, honestly, definitely one of my top musical experiences ever. And that's saying a lot. I've been signed as a producer for the last 5.5 years now, and I've gotten to work with some really dope, talented people. But being in that stadium and witnessing the energy in there, man, I'm pretty sure that's something I'm always going to remember very, very fondly. The LA stop at SoFi Stadium was a homecoming for Lamar, yielding the biggest gross in attendance of the tour so far. On May 21st, 23rd, and 24th, the Grand National Tour grossed a collective 40.4 millions. Golly. From 147,000 tickets. And guys, the audience was literally louder than Kendrick Lamar and SZA the entire show. The June 4th show in SZA's hometown of St. Louis, the Dome, which I'm not sure if it's a mistake because I'm pretty sure she's from New Jersey. Definitely let me know in the comments if they got that wrong. The Dome at America's Center was just as well attended as any of the LA dates, 48.6 thousand on a gross of 8.8 million, which has got to be like a top 5 highest grossing rap show ever. The Grand National Tour is easily the biggest concert run of Lamar and SZA's careers to date. The former sold out arenas on the Big Steppers Tour in 2022 to 2023, and again, that show at the time became rap's biggest tour ever. So for all the OV hoes to come out and say that he needed this Drake beef to become relevant, you guys are completely oblivious to facts. And the latter did so on the SOS tour in 2023 to 2024 as well, which is pretty cool. It's a dope way to follow up that tour. TDE was really killing it. But while those international jaunts averaged 1.6 and 1.8 million per show, and it definitely is crazy that this new tour is making these numbers seem pedestrian. I remember when Drake was gloating about making a million per show, which has obviously gone up, but still, the money that's being generated from these tours is something that rap has not seen. And there's always going to be stats that haters are going to be able to find and use to be able to try to convey their argument. But at the end of the day, these are numbers that rap has not seen, at least for these single shows yet. Again, guys, I'll say it again. We are witnessing rap history. Respectively, Grand National is pacing 11.1 million each night, toppling both solo runs 6 times over. Yeah, man, that is insane. In the case of any successful co-headline tour, 1 plus 1 should equal 2 at least. Beyond the simple math of combining these rap and R&B superstars, which they have probably the best chemistry of any rap and R&B singer probably ever, both acts are riding buzzing momentum. Lamar released GNX in November, and SZA dropped SOS Deluxe in December. Each record featured a Lamar SZA duet, and the former's Luther spent 13 weeks atop the Billboard Hot 100, topping the chart beyond the tour's first month. And I definitely remember a time when the Drake stands were saying that none of the records on that album would have any type of life to it. Add to that, both shared the stage during the Super Bowl halftime show following Grammy wins for 2024 hits Not Like Us and Saturn. And Kendrick Lamar swept his award nominations. Lamar and SZA will kick off the tour's European leg on July 2nd in Cologne, Germany. It's the first of 16 shows, including doubleheaders in Frankfurt, London, and Paris. And that's going to be a freaking vibe. Then they hit Latin America for 5 dates before 2 dates in Australia, December. Yeah, man. And that Anita Max Wind Tour is going to look even sadder, guys. We have every Aussie in that stadium singing along bar for bar. Both artists are bigger earners in the US and overseas, which is to be expected for any American act, especially in hip hop. Still, a 15 to 20% dip in nightly grosses in Australia and a 35% drop off in Europe and Latin America would put the Grand National Tour on track for a $400 million finish. And again, guys, in half the time that it took Drake to get to his number and with a lot less help. Let's actually look at the cities that he's going to be hitting in South America. All right, September 23rd to October 7th, he's hitting Mexico City, Bogota, Colombia, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Buenos Aires, Argentina, and Santiago, Chile. And it's definitely going to be a dope sight to see all these Latin fans singing word for word, man. And for a fan base that is supposedly broke and dusty, which is very big words coming from somebody like a DJ Academics, it's going to be so dope to see these stadiums packed out down there. I got some of these comments, actually. Shit don't even cut deep.
People that are saying things like Kendrick used this moment to get back relevant.
The perfect clip to watch right now.
That was crazy.
Are saying that he used this moment as a career relaunch. I'm like, do y'all know who Kendrick Lamar is?
He was a bum. Yup, he was a bum.
What a cornball. At the end of the day, Kendrick Lamar is one of the premier acts in music, period. Literally had an album go 600,000 copies first week. He is quite possibly the most critically acclaimed rapper. He has like 22 Grammys now, but even before the beef, he had already racked up 18 and a Pulitzer Prize amongst a bunch of other awards. So it is 100% pure delusion when people come out with these erroneous claims that he needed Drake to actually become relevant.
Yup, he was a bum. Yeah, he was a bum. He don't get money. He shared clothing with his homies.
Day after day, seems like I put.
Oh man, that Grand Wizard dude quite possibly has the worst captions to go along with posts. That wasn't a Drake solo tour. He literally had like 15 to 20 artists on tour with him at all times. Big Me needed to add international tours to beat Drake's arena tour numbers. And Drake also needed 81 shows, literally like what, 4 times the amount right now. needing extra shows to outsell Drake's arena tour. These guys are crazy. OVHOs can't believe this.
Spectacular! Kendrick fans were just glazing him. Drake's had enough.
It reminds me of that. Remember that viral moment, the Leave Britney Alone moment? This is the OVO Stan version. This is the cult of the OVHoites, guys.
Chill.
Just mid. It was mid. It was nothing spectacular. Kendrick fans were just glazing him.
Oh, man, what a sight to see, man. They said Kendrick was a local act, but the Grand National Tour is worldwide. And I'm going to tell you this, guys. You can't use reason with people that didn't use reason to get to their point. The GNX Tour is inevitably the highest grossing rap tour of all time. Drake had to summon the Rap Avengers for like 80 arena shows. Kendrick only on 23 shows so far, and he keeps going. Exactly, guys. Honestly, given the perception of Drake right now, I don't think he'd be able to top the It's All a Blur tour either. And it's definitely hilarious that the person that posted this also has, I want to say, Drake as their profile picture. But he's definitely right. It's All a Blur tour was the 5th co-headlining concert tour by Canadian rapper Drake. So I don't know why people keep saying that his was a solo tour when there was anything but, and all we had to do was just literally look at the shows day in and day out. What kind of slave deal they got Lil Kenny on? And I don't know. They're trying to use the same narratives that have been put on Drake for literally his whole career against Kendrick. And yeah, another short joke. How original. Like the guy hasn't heard these since he was a child. And guys, it's called the music business. They're in the business of making money through their music. So to think that people aren't kind of capitalized on probably the biggest run by a rapper ever, you'd be crazy to think otherwise. And Kendrick doing solo stadiums while Drake is canceling stadiums. Drake canceled his 2023 tour. Drake's tour included a concert at FedEx Field on June 14th. I'm told the reason they canceled all their stadium concerts was because of the challenges with cost supply chain issues. And you know who hasn't had a problem with that? Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Legendary run. Definitely absolute cinema, guys. I was there during that LA show. I brought my 4K camera because all the footage that was coming out, while it was getting me super excited, the audio quality was terrible. The visual aspect on these cameras have been nothing but amazing over the past few years. The microphones on these definitely suck. They drown out all the sound. But the show was definitely a master class in like cinema. The visuals that they put along with the performances were amazing on their own. Kendrick Lamar is not welcome in Brazil. All right, said that about Toronto. This guy's obviously just speaking for himself. He going anywhere but South Africa. Like I said, dates are still being announced, and it would be pretty awesome for South Africa to get a show of their own as well. So we'll see with time. His 4th continent now in an attempt to break Drake's North American record. That record belongs to 21 Savage, Lil Durk, J. Cole, Lil Wayne, and a bunch of others as well. Yeah, we're definitely not going to see or hear from for years after all this is over. I don't know. I feel like Kendrick Lamar is really loving this K-Dot era right now. And unless he wants to take a vacation, I think this run is going to continue to keep going. Right now, he has to be riding on a high. And it's not like Kendrick Lamar is on social media every day, addressing everyone publicly on live or whatever. The only time we ever really see him is when he's dropping music or on tour or at one of these award shows, which more than likely he's sweeping everyone he got nominated for. GOAT going to South America. Yeah, man, that's going to be fire. It's going to be so dope because, like, I definitely see the support internationally. Like I said, this very channel, I've had people from Tonga, people from a few countries in Southeast Asia, a bunch of countries in Africa, South America, the UK, and the rest of Europe, Australians, people from New Zealand, all tap in and show their support. I'm so happy to see that these fans are going to get their chance to watch the show. And he's going to the biggest stadium in Argentina. He's not playing games. Last time Drake went in there, it was at Lollapalooza, and he didn't want it broadcasting on TV despite being part of his contract. I hope people remember that while singing TV off and screaming, yeah, mustard. And guys, we could see it here again. It's Lollapalooza. It's one of the biggest festivals out there. Obviously, there's going to be tens upon tens of thousands of people there in attendance, but they're not just there for Drake. There are people there that went there primarily to see other acts. And if you're going to this Grand National Tour, it's because you're going there just to see Kendrick. Mad scenes when he opens up Reincarnated in Gloria. Yeah, definitely. Cinema. What about Monterey? So far, it's just that one show in Mexico. He has to make that deficit of 80 million. Like, this guy is averaging 11.1 million per show. Guys, let's relax. I know it's pure delusion and pure coping, but let's be a little realistic. And people say he won't outsell Drake. Honestly, it was inevitable. I don't see how you don't make this tour international, especially given the impact he's had this year. No, SZA, nah, it's looking like they're gonna have people of that region co-headline, but that still doesn't take SZA out of the equation. We might still see her pop up so they can perform like Luther together in like spot locations. I saw another post which was pretty hilarious. Drake It's All a Blur World Tour still remains the biggest and highest grossing rap tour of all time, 320.5 million USD from the sale of 1.3 million tickets. After Kendrick Lamar says his stadium tour failed to reach his numbers, 256.4 million gross revenue for 1.1 million tickets. And guys, it gets pretty expensive when you have to pay another 15 artists. So those tickets were obviously going to be higher priced. I mean, you're not only getting Drake, you're getting 21, J. Cole, and the plethora of other artists. So it makes sense that those tickets would be more expensive. That production obviously costs a lot more money. But how can you really argue against somebody averaging $11.1 million per show? So I definitely think people using those stats are definitely reaching. The tour is not even over. Exactly. Assuming this is an unbiased platform, speaking hypothetically, if the tour just happened to not be complete and it does surpass Drake, 21 Savage, and J. Cole's tour, are you reporting that as well? And guys, they'll just do it in a very backhanded way. Kendrick is going to have these shows in China and India to close the gap. I don't see why you wouldn't want to have shows over there if people want to see you. And with that being said, it's still not going to take too many more shows to get to the all-time number. So why should he bow out gracefully? You only bow out gracefully if you fall off. Drake's momentum is still strong, so I see no reason why Drake should bow out. Chris Brown started before Drake, and Chris hasn't bowed out. To say that Drake hasn't suffered a decrease in his stock, you'd be crazy to think otherwise. Just the public perception alone is very telling. And if the momentum was that strong, he wouldn't have canceled that Australian tour. I mean, the tour literally looked like a Make-A-Wish event, with rows upon rows of people seemingly showing up just to show off their signs, begging for money and begging for vacations. So almost the same amount of tickets sold, Drake clears the midget. People really were grabbing tickets for $10 a pop, huh? Dollar store era. I don't think this guy understands math. Well, Blur had 80 dates and grossed 320 million. GNX had 23 dates and grossed 256. That's 11 million on average for Kendrick and SZA, and 4 million on average for Drake. If Kendrick and SZA wanted to break his record, they easily could. And again, it just takes a few more shows to do that at this rate. I'm pretty sure in 9 more shows you'll be able to accumulate that. Drake had 21, and J. Cole on that tour with him. LOL, he didn't pull all those numbers by himself. Plus, he did more shows than Kendrick has so far. And that's not including Sexy Red, who at the time was definitely a draw. Yeah, don't forget Kendrick and SZA's ticket prices were like the cost of a Big Mac combo because no one cared to go. I don't know. I spent close to $500 for my seats, and those tickets were right in the middle. 256, that means Dot and SZA can definitely pass 320 after the Europe and Australia dates. Oh, most definitely. But yet again, the cult of the Ovihoites will definitely find a reason to hate on that as well. 23 shows compared to 80. Yeah, man. People are just going to continue to move the goalposts. It's the internet. You're going to be able to find stats for whatever argument you're going to be trying to convey. It still doesn't make it right because at the end of the day, the guy is doing it in way less shows. The economy is very different than it was during that time. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a lot more expensive when you are bringing the level of artists that Drake was bringing on. If you're bringing 15 plus artists on tour, guess what? You have to pay those 15 artists. And the people on that tour are people that can hold their own on their own arena tours. So you can't go and say that Drake is doing this by himself when he clearly is not. If he were to go and try to do that now, I think it would look completely different. I don't think he could top his own record. So again, for me, this is just people moving the goalposts and trying to cope with the actual facts. This tour is going to end up being the highest grossing rap tour ever. I feel like that's inevitable. And if DJ Academics, the master glazer himself, understands that, I don't see why the rest of the OVOites don't understand that. Again, facts isn't their thing. You can't reason with a person that didn't use reason to get to their position. And all their hating still doesn't change the fact that Kendrick Lamar is on a historic run. So let's give Kendrick Lamar and SZA their flowers for pulling off some very legendary-ish. But definitely let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the tour going international? To me, I think that's amazing. It's going to be so dope to have people that have been supporting him his whole career be able to see them in person. Like I said, rap history. This tour has been immaculate, and it will continue to be immaculate. So if you guys are going to be hitting some of these international tour dates, definitely let me know in the comments. It's going to be really cool seeing where everyone is going to be watching from. These Drake Stan comments are still hilarious, if not something that would require a wellness check. But people as delusional at this, man, there's really nothing you could do to argue against them, man. Let's just make fun of them and keep it pushing. But it's pretty funny that they're not showing the stat that Kendrick Lamar and SZA are averaging 11.1 million, while Drake was pulling in 4.4 on his respective tour. Even if you cut the GNX numbers in half, they would still be generating more than what Drake was doing. So definitely let me know what you guys think. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does your channel wonders. I really want to thank you guys so much for continuing to make this channel a part of your day. It honestly means the world to me, and all the love and support that you guys continue to show this channel on a daily is overwhelming and probably the biggest reason why I make these videos. So I really want to send a big thank you to all those that have been joining the YouTube memberships. Also, a very, very special thank you to all those that have been sending super thanks as well. Those donations really go a long way in helping out the channel. And honestly, guys, I am just so grateful for all that you add to the conversation on these videos. It really does mean a lot, and it is so insightful and cool to share our opinions. I'm definitely looking forward to what you guys have to say on this topic. Hope you guys love this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. Kendrick and SZA have been breaking records nonstop, man, and they are not done yet.